Live from virtual Nevada, we welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV, where tonight we get set to kick off race number 3 of the L-TAC All-Street Media Cup Series. Welcome to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and welcome back to the show. My name is Noel Rempel, bringing you all of the coverage here tonight from start to finish of what should be an absolutely incredible race. We already had a wild one with the Speed Cup Series making their trip out here in the round of 8 for their playoff run just yesterday, and now we'll be racing into the night as we'll return here for some good old racing from L-TAC. We take a look at how the points look entering tonight's race, and it's looking pretty solid at the moment for Joseph already up by a good 8 points on Austin Gassillon. Mark Brannigan Jr. down in third. Tyler Grinnell and Connor LaFrance round out the top 5. So it is an Eastern Stars Motorsports 1 through 5 lockout at the moment, and that is not going to be easy for these guys to try to reel this gap in. So for drivers like Dingler, Ray, Morton Musati, there's quite a bit of work to do. Sean Deal will not be joining us here tonight. He is among several drivers that have opted to take a provisional, not able to make it to the call here tonight. Other drivers will include the likes of Barrett Gutpold. I know Matt Cherry was slated not to be here, but he has arrived. Anthony Musati was also slated not to be here, but he has also arrived to the show as well. So we're going to get things rolling here in just a little while as we'll get set to kick off racing action. We do have qualifying currently underway from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and right now everybody looking to try to put down whatever laps they can. This is the number 49 trying to work his way up around the racetrack. He still has not put down a first lap on his opening flyer at the moment, and we'll see what Musati can make for this field as he'll hightail around the high banks of 3 and 4. Will work his way across to start finish, and we'll be looking to throw down an opening lap there for that number 49 car of a 30.697, so currently 12th on the timing sheets for the driver of that number 49 car. It's not the only one we got in this field so far that's looking to make some moves. I know Holden McGill just went to the 9th spot on the timing boards, as we'll see the driver to Clover, South Carolina, put himself to the number 9 spot. And you talk about some other drivers we haven't seen over the course of the afternoon. One driver in particular that I'm looking forward to see where he's going to be ending up will be the likes of Nate Brooker, who has not put down a lap as of yet, had his first lap invalidated. But Brooker, one of, in fact, the only European we have in this field. He's been dubbed the British Bomber when it gets down in the round. Of course, hailing out from England, just on the other side of the pond. So Nate Brooker, always been a long-time runner of the L-TAC Cup Series. He's been racing since their first ever season of competition way back in 2020. Has never really found himself in playoff competition. Has always been more of a part-time driver. Making his first start here tonight, he'll find himself 11th as he'll come to the conclusion of his first qualifying lap. Matt Cherry working his way up around the circuit. We'll see what the driver of the badge racing, number 84 Chevrolet Camaro, will be able to make for himself, as he'll also take it to the high side of 3 and 4. Dives down low in the Simax MPI setups, number 84, as he'll work his way back down to the front straightaway through the tri-oval, and it is going to be no time long for Matt Cherry. Was not able to put down a qualifying effort, and evidently not too happy with that. Sean Kaiser, one of the lone drivers yet to make a run. Spencer Abel put himself to 7th quick on the boards. Just over half the field have set times from the L-TAC All-Street Media Cup Series. As Sean Kaiser makes his qualifying effort, I want to quickly shout out All-Street Media for their work in keeping the L-TAC Cup Series moving. All-Street Media is a small media platform specializing in photography and live streaming, mainly focused around no-prep drag racing and soon expanding to dirt racing, NASCAR, superbike racing, and more. Their mission is to provide smaller racing venues with the opportunity for public exposure and to help keep small-town racing circuits and also small-town drivers doing the things they love. You can find them by visiting them on their Facebook page, linked in the description. Sean Kaiser will have just enough to put down one flying lap at the buzzer with 5 seconds left. He'll be only good enough, though, for 18th on the boards. We'll be starting way down in this field. So other than that, we've got everything lined on up and ready to go. So here's how your field of 28 cars will line on up as we get set to go racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Joseph is on pole position. Holden McGill will be beside him on the front row. Ryan Dingler and Anthony Bussani, Badger teammates, a lockout row number 2, really breaking up the Eastern Stars Motorsports crew today. Also Gassion back in 5th with Ben Morton in 6th. Spencer Ray is 7th with Grant Peterson in 8th. Devin Purog and Mark Brannigan Jr. round out the top 10. Josh McDougall and the British Bomber will be back on row number 6. Row 7 holds Mario Lapinta and Connor LaFrance. Justin Wilson and Frank Flores will be on row 8. Row 9 holds Kyle Green and Sean Kaiser. Matt Cherry and Brian Huntley Jr. take up the top 20, and they will be the two drivers, the first drivers that have not put down qualifying laps. From there, you'll have Jeffrey Brogdon and Todd Robbins, Josh Small and Stephen Purcell, Laura McFadden and Aaron Bradford, Nathaniel Ames, and Chris Campbell to round out the field. We got this moment here while we're just gritting up behind the iRacing pace car here, and I want to give a quick attention to a bit of an interesting factor here that has been put into the L-TAC Cup Series as of last season. It's not something we've been able to really talk about so far over here, at least in the early goings of the championship. It's been a bit chaotic these last 2 races, but there is something that we call the lucky draw. Now, what this means is the broadcaster will pick a number between 1 and however many cars are in the field, in this case 28. The driver that is starting on the position for the number chosen, if they win the race, they get themselves an extra 3 bonus points. So taking the draw here today, it is number 17. That will mean that it'll be Kyle Green as your lucky draw driver. And if Kyle Green wins this race, he will be the one who will get 3 additional bonus points. But again, he has to win. If he doesn't win, he gets squat in terms of bonus points. Still obviously gets your normally scored race points at the end of the night. So it's an interesting system, and it was met with some apprehension when it was first introduced a couple of seasons ago. But in the 2-3 seasons that it's been in play now, I believe only 2 seasons that it has been in play now, as Anthony Bussani struggles to get off the grid, we've only actually had 3 drivers actually take the victory. So overall, it doesn't have too much of an impact on the overall championship. Just a fun little thing that the series heads thought would be a fun thing to do, and it's turned into be its own little thing. So we'll see if Kyle Green will be able to pull himself together out of that 17th spot on the grid and get himself into racing action later on. Stage lap will be at lap 67 going to 68. That is when the top 10 will be squared away, and they'll get themselves with some extra bonus points, whether that be under green or under caution, remains to be seen. 134 laps will be the distance for 200 miles of racing action around Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Bound to be a fun race for all involved here tonight, as we'll be working our way into turn numbers 3 and 4. Joseph, as always, with the pole, not looking to be going anywhere anytime soon. So we'll see again what good old JoJo is able to do here as he'll work his way into turn numbers 3 and 4. Joseph, the driver that has so far been on pole for all 3 races. Pace car is off. We're happy that you're joining us here on this Friday night. Green flags up in the air. We're underway in Nevada. Joseph leads the first lap to green while everybody else is in a hornet's nest just behind as we pack things up and get set to hightail it down in the turn numbers 1 and 2. All 28 cars made it to the starting grid. And now everybody fanning out as we thunder down the Nellis straightaway for the second time tonight. Sean Kaiser looking like he's had some tech problems early on. He is already dropping to the tail end of this field. May have been going for a start and park. But Joseph still with the race lead at the end of the opening couple of laps. Jumping further down in this field, and as I say that, back to the front is Ryan Dingler will try to make a move round the top side of Joseph, and it'll be Badger Racing to the point early on here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as Dingler takes away the race lead for the Eastern Stars Motorsports, number 20. Ryan Dingler pulls clear. We look further down in the pack. Everybody bunched up, running single file for the most part. Bottom lane right now is the place to be if you want to try to make moves. It's not going to do you much good to be making these looks elsewhere, as Holden McGill will bump Joseph down to third. So Joseph slipping back in the early goings. You got Mark Brannigan Jr. in his pink and white Superflow number 46 Chevy Camaro, working his way down the front stretch and in towards turn one, trying to close down the gap between himself and Baron Morton. Devin Pirog sits just behind as Nate Brooker will bomb it around the outside and almost into the outside wall. Trying to go 2 for 2 as Brooker will send it in around the top of 3 and 4. And Brooker will be through. Just up the road, Austin Gassion, Graham Peterson battling it out side by side for 6th and 7th as well. While the top two is starting to build up a gap over the rest of this field. Where do you go? How do you move around? Do you want to take these risks early on, or do you want to try to play the long game? An ever important question when you get down to cup racing action here from the L-TAC All-Street Media Cup Series. Mario LaPinta, Josh McDougall, Matt Cherry, Gassion, all working the outside line, all pinching in the bottom. Well, Spencer Ray knocks Joseph off of the podium further up the road. It's an intense opening salvo of laps. This is the type of racing action that a big setup racing can bring. Everybody working the same setup on the car. It's all down to how the drivers navigate that setup around this facility. Which is why, unlike the Speed Cup Series, the racing here in L-TAC can be so much closer at some points. A lot of these drivers are very evenly matched as well. They've been racing with each other for years. They know what makes each other tick. They know what moves they like to make. They know which moves they don't. They know where the limits are. They are so good at running right on the razor's edge. 3 wide out of turn 4, the 27 of Todd Robbins trying to fire it up the middle, but it'll back out as Pirog and LaFrance will both bobble down from their respective lines. You see that outside lane starting to come into play more and more as Devin Pirog is shot around the top of Gassion, and it's looking like Frank Flores in his number 88 Interstate Batter's Machine. Oh, contact, look out, LaFrance going around, he'll return hard into the outside wall, collected by Justin Wilson, and Todd Robbins, the driver that will see an end to our opening green flag run of the night. As Ryan Dingler drove away by about 2 seconds with the race lead, and we are under our first caution flag of the evening. Well, that got a bit messy there, and I have to say it. I think Todd Robbins just ran LaFrance over. Take a look. I mean, that's exactly what happened. Oh, that is a heavy shot for Robbins into that outside wall. And considering where in the pack they were all very, very lucky that that did not end up being any worse than it was. Take a look at this, and look at the height that that car got off of the ground. I mean, that was all 4 wheels that came up and off. This is all worked down into turn numbers 3 and 4. Oh, Stephen Purcell actually collected the ball further up the road as well, so we'll get a look at that in just a moment, but we do have pit stops currently underway. Good chunk, in fact, all of the badge race crew, I believe, in a pit road. I see McGill, Cherry, Musati. In fact, everybody but now the top 7 have come down into pit road. And overall, it's looking like fuel only is the call. Nobody, well, Brian Huntley Jr. taking 4 tires. It's a bit early, I think, to be doing that on just the 14th lap of the race. That's only going to give him 1 extra set to work with. That's a very risky move. Looks like Josh Small took 2. LaFrance, Purcell, Robbins all in to try to fix up some more damage on their respective race cars. Right on board here with we'll try to ride on board with the 09 of Justin Wilson and what he saw throughout all of that mess. So Wilson, his 09 car, took some hefty damage to this whole thing as well. Just nowhere he could have gone at all in that regard, and now on board with Robbins. I mean, he literally just flat-footed it straight into LaFrance. I mean, that's a sight for sure, and not entirely a welcome one. We'll see what will become of that in the post-race incident reviews. Watch Purcell on the top side there. Oh, he just got hooked. Rebounded into the outside wall, and that's what spun the 57 car out. So caution flag is out for the first time this afternoon. We'll take a look. We'll take a step back. You're watching the L-TAC All-Street Media Cup Series on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We're down into turn number 1. Lights are out aboard the iRacing pace car. We are 1 lap left until we go back to green flag racing. Again, the top 6 have not come down to pit road. Not like it's going to matter all that much, as majority of the pit stops, bar Brian Huntley Jr., were in for just fuel only. Huntley was the only car, I believe, to take a 4-tire pit stop on that latest cycle of stop through to the lane. And this will be caution 1, coming to a close. We'll go racing at lap number 14 as Spencer Ray and Mario LaPinta will line it up. The other drivers that have not pit are Josh McDougall, Devin Pirog, Kyle Green, and Lauren McFadden. Pace cars down at the end of pit road as we're going to get things rolling for the restart. Spencer Ray takes us to the green flag as he is already shot clear by about 3 car lengths down in the turn number 1. McDougall and LaPinta side by side for the number 2 spot. Pirog, Green, McFadden all bunched up line astern now as we thunder down the Nellis straightaway and in towards turn numbers 3 and 4. LaPinta clears from the top. Pirog trying to work back to the bottom. Devin Pirog and more tucked in line. Ryan Dingler, the guy that was leading the race here before that caution where he came down to pit road, now runs in 6th, and he's looking like he wants to get up and around Kyle Green as we work back to turn 1. Pirog goes 3 wide up the middle, and that'll send the Discord Camry right through and into 4th, pressuring Green for 3rd. Looking to take that one around the top. It did not take long for the outside line to come into play full force here in America's gambling capital as Devin Pirog will try to take it around the top side. Doors Kyle Green as they work out of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Side-on contact as if it were Bristol just 1 week ago. Dingler looking for the bottom. No room. Kyle Green covers him off. Field starting to single file things back out as we continue to hightail around the high banks of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. For the back of the pack, Grant Peterson, Matt Cherry, and more, all trying to send themselves up and around the grid. McFadden track it up, almost Dory LaPinta that time by off of turn number 4, or 2 I should say. We've got a bit of a dust-up going on towards the rear of this field as well. You saw the likes of Gassione, Purcell, and Moore get a bit tight. The 68 car of Chris Campbell trying to find his way around the bottom side of Mark Brannigan Jr. So battles for positions all the way up and down throughout this field, and none of them going anywhere anytime soon. I would not be surprised if we were to see another caution flag here within the next 20 laps or so. Seems to be the trend when it gets down to the Las Vegas racing in the L-TAC All-Distributed Cup Series. It's either a caution fest or it's green almost all the way through. There is no in-between. Spencer Ray, after his big launch, has been steadily caught by both Dingler and McDougall. Look out as Dingler trying to force the issue on the inside of the Spotify Camry, and he'll scare that 45 car up. Send Dingler trying to get back through to second place. McDougall loses. Look out. We got Anthony Mussotti going around in the back straightaway. The 49 car sliding down. No caution. Will keep it green as he was too far down on the apron to have forced the yellow flag. So Anthony Mussotti going around out of turn 2 on the backstretch. And looks like this was all by himself. Bobbled it in 2 and slid it around. Grant Peterson did a phenomenal job to avoid getting into that, and a good save from Mussotti as well to just lock it down and let it slide. Dingler looking high, tracking back down low, trying to set up an over-under on Spencer Ray. And Ray moves up a bit too far, gives Dingler the move he needs, and there goes the Hex Armor Camaro. Takes to the bottom of the number 19, and that's going to send Ryan Dingler to the point down the Nellis straightaway. Dingler looking to try to track clear the rest of this field. We look further back in the pack. Nathaniel Ames, Jeffrey Brogdon, Mark Brannigan Jr., along with Aaron Bradford, the 69 of Brian Huntley Jr., all tucked up in a line as they work out through the tri-oval down through 4. Laps slowly ticking away as we march our way further through the opening salvo here tonight. Some more battles up the road. Matt Cherry bumping Spencer Ray out of the top 5 and down into 7th now. Tell you what, these guys are not able to quite get away from each other ever, are they? As Justin Wilson and Stephen Purcell, we saw them tangle to, and they were the 2 innocent bystanders in the opening caution that we had earlier on in this race back on lap 13. As they will now work side by side in the 3 and 4. Both of them still had a quicker pair to work with, so they were able to get those cars back fixed up and onto the racetrack. But it means they have to be extra cautious, though, throughout the latter portions of this race, because, again, you never quite know when it's all going to go wrong, and it can go wrong quickly when you're racing cars like this. Cherry trying to attack McDougall. That's for 5th down the backstretch, and looking like the 84 car will be able to break clear around Josh McDougall as he worked the high banks. Spencer Ray still dropping back. He's now down to 7th, and I think that's where he'll stay for the time being. He's going to try to attack to recover lost ground. Trouble for Purcell into the infield grass. Sliding sideways. Rejoins the track. No yellow will get things back rolling as Purcell having a wild moment off of a turn 4. Again, just loose all by himself. Had the air taken off that nose. Sends it careening across the grass. And we saw Carlton Charles in the Speed Cup Series just yesterday have a wild spin to the grass as well, except he got fully sideways and was going so quickly that the car started to dig in and, in fact, nearly flipped over in the infield grass, which is courtesy of these new grass physics that I was put in. And I believe it was those same grass physics that just helped Purcell save the car. Looking back up to the battle for an 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Green, Morton, LaPinta, Peterson, and Brooker all tucked up line astern. As now Grant Peterson gets a bit crossed up on the exit of turn 4. And we almost saw yet another jockey for position there as that'll send Peterson falling back. Makes effectively now a 4-car battle for the number 8 spot. I think the caution early on may have been what some of this field needed, as they've now been able to effectively, well, for the most part, break apart and start to settle into their own rhythm here for a lot of these drivers, which is what you want to see in longer races like these. We're talking 200 miles. It's not a short distance for this pack. See Brogdon working the outside of Gassion. This is again for 17th. On back, you got Brannigan, Bradford, Wilson, Ames, and more. All line astern. Ryan Dingle, meanwhile, has broken 1.2 seconds clear of this field. And as it stands, I'm thinking this is the trends that we're going to be seeing throughout the course of this race. Tell you what, has not been the night for Joseph so far this afternoon. He's a driver that has taken poles in all 3 races so far. He won, of course, he won at Bristol last week. He finished runner-up by just 0.04 of a second. Austin Gassion in the season opener at Daytona. He leads the points. So if there was ever a driver I'd expect to see at the front battling for positions, it would be this 20 car of Joseph. But he and really a lot of his teammates have not had the best of runs here tonight, and it's been rough for that 20 car so far. He's already fallen back 14 spots, back to 15. He was already well outside the top 5 before we got to our first caution flag, and obviously coming down to the pits has only hurt him more. So Las Vegas may not be the track of the number 20 car, and this could mean a huge point swing if these guys can keep it together up the road. On board with McFadden, trying to battle it out at the moment with guys like Spencer Ray as we work our way out of turn 4 down the front straightaway now. So McFadden, Ray, and Moore all still tucked line astern. Devin Purog and Holden McGill battled out for second place now. McGill trying to link up with his Badger Racing teammate about 1.5 seconds up the road. He's got Spencer Ray just behind as well. I believe Ray running under the Badger colors for the All-Street Media Cup Series as well. You got Matt Sherry tucked in line as well. He's been a long-time runner with Badger at this point. Oh, that's a brave move. McGill tracking up across the nose of Pirog and is able to break clear. Got a bit of a push that time by down the backstretch from that 36 car, but again, he'll tuck it back in line and we'll get ourselves back to green flag racing. Way down to the inside goes Matt Cherry as he crosses it up out of turn 4. Turn 4 seems to be the trouble spot for these Gen 7 cars. Even in the Speed Cup Series, we saw, like 6-7 cars break loose in the latter portions of some of these green flag runs, and it's looking like that trend will be continuing here tonight as we will officially take 100 laps to go. Going to be rounding lap 35 this time by. Joseph trying to finally start his recovery drive, breaks around Chris Campbell. Now looking up the road to Grant Peterson and the British bomber, Nate Brooker. Brooker going to send it in deep into turn 3. He's still maintaining that momentum line from the outside. Cuts back low, gets clear of Grant Peterson, and he'll secure 12th. Devin Pirog still fighting with whatever he's got to try to see if he can't keep from losing too much ground. He's down to 4th, just got overtaken by Spencer Ray for that number 3 position, just behind Cherry making an attack on the outside of Lauren McFadden. I think McFadden tried to take that car down low to try to cover Cherry off, but unfortunately, the outside is the place you want to be right now if you want to go for positions. And now we'll see Spencer Ray break clear of Holden McGill. So Ray has found something in the tanks as he's going to turn up the wick. See if Ray can run down that 1.8 second gap to the race leaders. Over halfway home in stage number 1. Remember, the stage lap will be at lap 67 going to 68. That is 30 laps from now. No caution to break up the racing action. And Brooker, at the moment, is fighting for the last spot outside of the stage points. Joseph's long run pace starting to come into play. He's worked up to 12. They're looking to be pressuring that number 3 car for 11th in just a few moments. All the while, Flores, Peterson, Huntley still working nose to tail for 13th back through 15th as well, deeper in the pack. Way down the field, you've still got drivers packed tightly in their own little battles. You're looking at Aaron Bradford, and caution is out as Brooker, and it looks like Frank Flores have had it come together as Brooker is slow, low on the backstretch, and we are going to be under caution flag number 2. Ryan Dingler still maintains his run in the race lead. Here's a look. Oh, just got loosened too again, and I don't even think JoJo touched him. Just eventually lost the back end. Frank Flores was able to get around Brooker. I think lost the spot just for trying to keep it out of him, and that brings out our second caution of the afternoon. Did a good job, though, to keep it out of that inside wall. So caution is out, second time this afternoon, rounding lap 40. 27 laps to go in stage number 1 this time by. We'll jump back. We're back in time for the restart. You're watching the L-TAC All-Street Media Cup Series on Green Flag TV. Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're getting set to go one to green. There's been some developments in terms of pit strategy here. You'll take a look at the stint lengths and you'll see a good chunk of drivers have come down a pit road. Fourth on back have all been down and into pit road, and this is a trend that will continue on throughout the course of this field. As you can see, pretty much everybody moving down through this pack has seen themselves take tires on this last stop. Well, I should say some of them, and it's a very split call. McGill, McFadden, Pirog, McDougall have all taken 4 tires. Joseph has taken fuel only along with Aaron Morton. Frank Flores taking fuel only. Green's taking 4. Gassion, Brannigan, Huntley taking fuel only. Aaron Bradford took 2 tires, where Pinto took 4. Josh Small took 2. So it is an incredibly split call throughout the field on pit strategies here, and I don't think anybody at this point is agreeing on the right strategy. I know Ryan Dingler and Matt Sherry are pretty much the only 2 drivers that have elected to stay out under this latest caution period, so that's what's going to see them into the lead, and I'm not so confident they're going to stay there. We'll see what's going to happen here, though, as it'll be a batch of racing 1-2 to lead us back to the green flag here. Tell you what, it's going to get interesting, though, as it so often does, and this race, I think, about to kick off in earnest. Less than 25 laps to go in stage number 1. Pace car is off, and it'll be Ryan Dingler who will once again take us down to the green flag as we'll work into the Geico restart zone. Just like the restarts before, Dingler breaking well clear of this field, and Joseph trying to push Matt Cherry up and out of the way into turns 1 and 2. Cherry keeping this ground, though, as Bear Morton right aboard them now will be dropping back into the number 4 spot. There goes Joseph around on the top side. Oh, it's JoJo chops right down in front of the driver out of Louisville, Kentucky. And now tracks right to the back bumper of Matt Cherry. Cherry at this point playing rear gunner support for Ryan Dingler, trying to keep the 20 car at bay, but it's going to be all for naught here. As Joseph will take his Eastern Stars Motorsports Mustang and storm by around the top of turns 1 and 2. Cherry, though, fighting with everything he has to keep to keep JoJo behind. Not going to matter, though, as that 20 car finally breaks clear out of turn 4 down the front stretch. Now we'll see what it'll take to close back up to Dingler. Further down the road, Pirog, McDougall, Grant Peterson, and more. All still tucked up line of stern. Lauren McFadden way low on the racetrack on the back stretch. I think maybe gotten a bit out of shape out of turn 2. Kyle Green will establish one around the outside of Grant Peterson as he'll clear for 8th. As always, you've got the battles right in the back of the pack kicking off too. Bradford, Ames, and more all still line to stern, as well as a bit of a hit to the outside wall. I believe that was with Justin Wilson in the 09 that just scraped along it. While we get set to take 20 laps to go in the opening stage. Holden McGill has gotten the Joseph's back bumper and now looks at the inside of 1 and 2. We've talked about it before, that outside lane, the place you want to be if you want to try to go for a move right now. And I don't think the inside's going to cut it for McGill this time around unless he can really send it in. But he can't do that when Joseph's got such a great run around the top. LaPinta and more all bundled up. It's one of those things where there's so much going on. It's such a small place. You're not quite sure where to take a look. You're trying to track all of the battles at once, and it's a difficult task to follow them all. So we see McDougall work to the inside of Cherry now. I think overall, though, that this has been a stellar drive from the entirety of this field. I mean, it has been on point from everybody so far here in this championship, and I can tell you this is not going to be, whoa, oh boy, hang on. Joseph getting way loose in turn 2 and nearly losing it down the backstretch. That will allow McGill to finally clear for second place. And look at that, already pressuring Dingler for the lead. McGill works to the bottom, takes it right down onto the apron, and he'll take to the bottom of Dingler. Colton McGill will track into the race lead. What, our fourth, fifth different driver now to lead the race over the course of these opening 50 laps. Dingler and Joseph will now be side by side, and Dingler not giving Joseph any room, and he's hooked him hard into the wall. Hard crash for Joseph, and that might be a race-ending collision. I don't recall if Joseph was in an earlier incident. I don't believe he was. He might still have a fast repair. I was just going to mention as well, though, about how they have animosity between them. The Badger Race Crews and Eastern Stars Motorsports, and I know a lot of the crew from Badger Racing was not appreciative of how Joseph and a lot of his teammates have been running the last few races. Tempers overflowing at Vegas as Dingler pinched him in and absolutely cleaned Joseph's clock. We'll take a look back. That was a heavy hit into the outside wall as Joseph went for the bottom. Dingler pinched him in. Oh, he may have gotten a bit loose, as well as, oh my word, and McDougall, the innocent bystander. That is about as hard of a hit as you can take in one of these corners at Vegas. That is head on into the outside wall at 160 plus miles an hour. You saw McDougall get crossed up and just nowhere for that 45 car to go. I feel so bad for McDougall. He had nothing to do with all of this. We'll slow this down, get a look, and I think Dingler may have gotten a bit loose. I want to ride on board. I'm not quite sure. But you can see the impact coming. I mean, you could just feel it. That is a fast point in the circuit, and look at the airtime again that car got. And I thought for a moment we were going to get a repeat we had at Michigan in the OMSRL Xfinity Series where Jacob Noyes got kicked up by about 3 stories. Yes. God almighty. On board with our good old friend, Josh McDougall. Nowhere to go, no way to react to something like that. This is what Joseph saw. I mean, that comes out of left field. You cannot anticipate that. You heard the motor brake immediately on Joseph's car as well. This is what Ryan Dingler saw throughout that mess, and we'll watch if he gets loose. Watch the wheel movements. Trying to pinch him in. Oh yeah, he got loose. He got loose out of turn 4. The side drive was too much to handle. One more look, and watch this here. You're going to watch the back end of that 8 car start to come around on him. As they work through turns 3 and 4, right about there, right there. See the back end kicking out. That car starts to turn down low. The wheel's turning right, but the car's going left, and that sends Joseph careening into the outside wall at over 160 miles an hour. Lights go out aboard the iRacing pace car. We've had another salvo of pit stops under this latest caution period. At this point, everybody's taken at least 2. Holden McGill has taken the race lead. The top 5 have chosen not to pit. Kyle Green, Pierre Auger, Moore have all come down into pit road. You see Holden McGill with the race lead at the moment. Grant Peterson to his outside. It is a Badger Racing 1, 2, 3. Nathaniel Ames having come out of left field. He was one of the few cars that did not come down to pit. He's running at the back of the pack for a majority of this race. And you got Kyle Green just waiting in the wings of that number 18 car back there as well. Just over 20 laps to go. Stage number 1. Sorry, just over 10 laps to go in stage 1. We're getting down to it. Only 12 laps to go. When we go back green, it's about to get wild, and I have a feeling we're going to be seeing some more tempers flare before the night's over. Pace cars into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back up and in the air. McGill well clear with the race lead. The rest of the pack trying to chase him down into turns 1 and 2. Thundering down the back straightaway. You see Ryan Dingler shoot to the inside of LaPinta. Trying to pick up another spot. He's going to drift up, though. Look out from behind as Brooker and McFadden both get runs on him from both the top and low lines, respectively. McGill hang on to the race lead for too long. McFadden bobbles out of 2. He'll start to slip down the pack as you saw him kind of bounce off that apron in the opening couple of corners, and now will slide back from 17th possibly down to 18th and further. Pirog clips the wall. Racing with Campbell. LaPinta away at the track. Pirog goes up to block. Mario LaPinta trying to chase down that 36 car. Nathaniel Ames getting crossed up, and Ames going to be run into in the back of Ryan Dingler. So a near miss out of turn 2 down the Nellis straightaway again. Everybody looking to getting tight right now on the racetrack. The C cars kind of bobbling out of their lanes and just washing up the track. Never a very good feeling, but these racers are doing a good job on trying to manage it. LaPinta closes the back end as Matt Cherry goes 3 wide up the middle, taking Grant Peterson and Chris Campbell. So Matt Cherry making moves. He wants to get further up in the top 5. Could get us over the top 3 by the end of the stage at this rate. To the top of Kyle Green. Going to take 4th. Oh, we're crashing on the back straightaway. And that could be a big crash, and it's multiple cars involved. The big one on the back straightaway. 5, 6, I'm counting. We got a parking lot back here. Justin Wilson there's a bit of a boop to the nose of Barrett Morton. Brooker's involved. McDougall's involved. Wilson. Small. All coming together. And LaPinta got into the outside wall. Nate Brooker slid down, and it was just on from there as, boy, multiple hard hits in this mess. I mean, I don't know what Wilson thought he was trying to do there. See the wreck curtain up front. Grant Pearson gets into this, and gosh, there's a few hard hits in this mess. Take a look from the air. LaPinta goes into the wall, collects Brooker, collects Peterson. Brannigan did a great job to get around that, and oh my goodness, Small. I believe that was Small. No, Small was further up the road. Who was that in the blue car that found his way through? That was the 27, I believe. That just blitzed through that mess. Try to track down which car that was. I want to get a look on board with him if we can. That was Todd Robbins. Right on board with Robbins. Wow, that was just full throttle, foot to the floor, and it did not pay off. Slammed the outside wall. That might be looked at post-race, because I know there are rules now about ARCA braking in this series. Been heavily frowned upon for a while, and I know a lot of drivers might not take too kindly to that. So we'll see what comes out of that mess as Grant Peterson get one more look as Lapinda goes into the wall. Peterson goes around, and watch the stack up. Nowhere for Bear Morton to go at all. And in fact, I want to get one final look if I can on board with Justin Wilson, the driver that came way late into this mess and got involved. Sees the wreck, starts slowing up, slowing down, 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 down. Check it up. I'm sorry, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse at all. He was going well slow enough to have been able to avoid that. No reason he should have gotten involved in that wreck at all. Yikes. That might be looked at post-race too. As boy, oh boy. Not the way we wanted to see this race kicking off as we're under caution flag. I believe this is, what, 4 now? Caution number 4 of the afternoon. Have we had another incident potentially behind the safety car? We'll get a look as, oh, we have Dingler running over Campbell and Kyle Green. I think intentional, but that's not ideal for Dingler either. Right on board the 8. Oh, maybe just wasn't prepared enough for the checkup. I mean, you're going slow enough, though, to avoid that. Come on, guys. We're under caution. We shouldn't be wrecking like that with a multi-car pileup again. We just had one. Right, so sit rep, McGill and Musati, both still having not pitted since lap 40, have the lead. Believe we'll go green with 3 laps to go in stage 1. Lights go out. We'll go green flag racing this time by, and McGill opting for the outside lane this time on the restart. Bold call from that number 21 car. We'll see how that pans out for him. So working the back straight away, and yeah, it'll be 3 to go in the stage, and I don't quite know how this one's going to pan out. I mean, this race has gone off the rails, I think it's safe to say. Racing with stages tend to be very wild in the first half, where we cool it down for the second half, and again, we'll see if that'll be the case tonight. Pace cars off. And Holden McGill will lead us back around to the green flag. Side by side each, top 3 breaking away single file as we work down the back stretch. Holden McGill, Anthony Bussati, Matt Cherry, all tucked up line astern. Pirog cuts high, then back down low, trying to get around Dingler. Dingler looking to cover him off, and he'll just get to the bottom of the tri-oval to defend him, to keep him at bay. 2 laps to go. Bussati pressuring his teammate Holden McGill for the stage win. Working the back stretch this time by Chris Campbell will find his way into pit road. He'll be bailing on the possibility of stage points. Excuse me, as I just about fell over in my chair. As we've got, Bussati into the wall. That could stack him up in Matt Cherry. Cherry going to look for second around the top while McGill takes the final lap in stage number 1. Cherry trying to drive this one home, closing in a 10th and a third, 10th and a quarter, down to a 10th. Working into 3 and 4. Matt Cherry going for the lead. It's going to be a drag race out of 4, trying to get back around to the start-finish line. And at the buzzer, it will be McGill by about 1,000th of a second, taking it away from Matt Cherry. Cherry takes the lead, and look out, McGill almost going around. He does go around hard into the outside wall, as it is friendly fire from Badger Racing teammates Matt Cherry and Holden McGill. McGill now down on the right front as the whole field siphons through 3, almost 4 wide. That's a race ender for McGill as he'll be forced to pit road. The drama kicks off in earnest as we will get a look back on the pass for the lead. As take a look at this one here. This is working to the start-finish stretch. And look at how close this was. And I do believe that is just barely Holden McGill taking the win. And then watch here as they'll make contact down in the turn 1, sending McGill hard into the outside fence. That is game over. Oh boy. Not often you get blue on blue to a degree like that. That was a new level. Dingler has since taken the lead away from Cherry. In fact, this is how Ryan Dingler made the pass on Matt Cherry for the race lead. Got around him into turn 3. That was on lap 69. Meanwhile, here's the big battle pack in the background as, whoa, boy, Frank Flores being bullied out left and right as he just had Aaron Bradford take it to his inside. Kyle Green fire by around the top side. Well into the second half now of your third race, the L-TAC All-Street Media Cup Series from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and it is kicked off, I think, to put it mildly. Got fires being put out in the Badger Racing garage right now as Bussati, Pirog, Brannigan, and Huntley all tucked up in line astern. 2 by 2, 3rd through 6th. Oh, almost been a contact as Brannigan nearly runs into the side of Huntley. Once, then twice. Connor LaFrance has worked his way back into the fray. LaFrance, of course, winning the race at Daytona by about 3 thou. Trying to go for the win here today as well to make him the first repeat winner of Season 5. Almost a bit of 3 wide. Looks like we might be 3 wide. Not quite. Huntley not. Oh, Huntley is able to force it in. All right, 3 wide down the Nellis straightaway. Although Huntley quick to abandon that idea, so he'll back out. These guys holding each other up right now, and it's allowing Cherry and Dingler to run away with spots up the road. Pirog bobbles, lets Brannigan and Huntley through. Then the rest. Joseph, Aaron Bradford, Stephen Purcell, Kyle Green, Josh McDougall, Lauren McFadden, Nate Brooker, and more, all packed up together we work through turns 1 and 2. Whoa, hang on, Joseph. Getting sideways down the backstretch, and Joseph's got to be careful. He's already used one fast sprint. He's already down 2 laps, having to take a tow. He can't afford another mistake. He needs all the cars he can get right now to try to get himself back to the run. He can't be the cause of one, though. Brooker and Brogdon will both slip around the outside of 3 wide just behind, while Josh Small and Spencer Ray tagging the outside wall as they're fighting side by side down the backstretch for some of the last spots on the lead lap. Musadi, LaFrance looking to exchange blows. Here's Huntley. Works to the bottom of Moose and clears. That was for 5th. Battle is on now for the number 4 spot. Brannigan going to make door-to-door contact with Brian Huntley Jr. as once again working down the backstretch. It's been a physical race here tonight. As Brian Huntley Jr. tries to sand it down the inside of the Superflow Camaro. As this battle continues to rage on down in the turn 1. Oh boy! Bit more contact, I think, that time around. And I can see Brannigan bobbling, trying to save it. Can he save it? Tagged by Pirog. Just able to hang on as the 46 car works down the backstretch. These guys are going to single-handedly age me by about a decade at the end of this race if it keeps going on at this rate in time. I mean, this has been intense so far to a new level. And we are only at race 3. I mean, we're not deep into the season, but this is a championship-impacted race, fair enough. This is the 3rd race of the season. I mean, this is calamity for this early on. We're not in it for stage or chase points anymore. We're on the long haul to the end. LaPinta to the inside of Gasio. How about Lauren McFadden? He's been working his way through this field. He's one of the drivers with some of the higher spots gained on the day. He's now plus 13 as he gets around Purcell. Driver that's gained the most, Nathaniel Ames. Still running a solid 6th place as he's trying to keep Devin Pirog at bay for 6th. Matt Cherry now duking it out once again. Badger Racing versus Eastern Stars Motorsports. It's a battle that has come to blows a few times already this season, and even in this very race, looks like LaFrance, will make a clean pass with the number 2 spot. Breaks clear of Cherry. Look around, LaPinta, Gassion, McFadden, Purcell, some of the closest and largest battle packs on the racetrack as it stands. You see Gassion getting up and around Lauren McFadden, or at least attempted it. McFadden will take that one around the top side of Gassion down the Nella straightaway and into 3 and 4. Starting lap number 84. This time by, we are going to be 50 laps to go when we get back around to the line. think at this point, the big question now is when do pit stops arise under green? Do we even get pit stops under green? I think we'll still have 1 or 2 left. But how do you want to make these moves work? I mean, a lot of these guys. Oh, trouble back straight away. Musani hooked by Pirog. And he'll slide to the bottom of the racetrack. Caution is out at lap 85. 50 laps to go. The rest of the field still flying up on him. I think a pretty healthy dose of netcode had a bit of a hand to play in that one. We'll take a look back. And we'll ride on board with Pirog. Well, not quite as much as I thought. We'll get another look at this one from the backstretch facing towards us. Oh, not the greatest of looks there, as that one, I guess, favors, Moose, you could say, a little bit. This should be a decent one, though, as go from the top. I don't think they ever made contact, but I could very well be wrong in that assumption. See, was there anybody around them that could paint a better picture? There's Bear Morton. Well, why not? Let's see what Morton saw. He might have the answers. If our system will get to working, there it is. Well, still not the clearest picture, but I'm fairly certain they never touched. Well, that puts us under caution once again. That will be yellow flag number 5 now, as we will continue our roll through this field. This caution is saved. Holden McGill, he gets back onto the lead lap after being wiped out by his teammate at the end of the stage. So we'll take another step back, and we'll be back in time for the restart. You're watching the L-TAC All-Stream Media Cup Series on Green Flag TV. Lights out with 1 lap to go before we go back to green flag racing, and should be a fairly solid outing for us here tonight as we're going to try to get ourselves back rolling on Green Flag TV. And I can tell you right now, the race is going to only be kicked up into overdrive even further. Ryan Dingler and Matt Cherry will have the race lead. Want to take the chance to thank once again Allstream Media for being the title sponsor of this season for the L-TAC Cup Series. Allstream Media is a small media platform specializing in photography and live streaming, mainly focused around no prep drag racing, and soon will be expanding to dirt racing, NASCAR, superbike racing, and more. Their mission is to provide smaller racing venues with the opportunity for public exposure and to help keep small-town racing circuits and also small-town drivers doing the things they love. Find out more by visiting them on their Facebook page. Link can be found in the description. Pace car going to pull in this time by less than 50 laps to go from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Saw another big chunk of drivers come down to pit road. The ones that did it pit, Dingler, Cherry, Ames, now on 30-plus lap older tires. Green flags up in the air. Working around the high banks of 1 and 2. Look at Mark Brannigan Jr. sending up the middle contact, and he's going to slam the outside wall. Rebounds down, just able to avoid the pack, and how he didn't junk the entire field is beyond me, as Brannigan has destroyed the right front of his Superflow Chevrolet. He'll have to come to pit road to get that fixed. That was a huge hit, though. And Brannigan took into the outside wall. Take a look at this as it all fell apart for the 46 car working out of the second corner. Was there contact? Was this all self-inflicted? Oh, looked like it was self-inflicted. Tried to get loose, went down into Brooker, and holy cow. That is a lucky field right there that just managed to escape complete disaster. Mario Lapinza tracking up and around the top. You got Lauren McFadden running back in that number 4 spot now, just breaking around the top of Ames. The first driver in this field that came down to pit and is on fully fresh rubber would be Connor LaFrance. Sorry, he pitted. He did not take tires, though. So it looks like a good chunk of this field might very well be out of tires. 3 wide again as Pirog shoves his way around the top of Frank Flores and Barrett Morton. See Brooker tracking up and boxing in Connor LaFrance just up the road. LaFrance not being left with a whole lot to go at the moment. As again, the field works its way through 3 and 4. And again, Pirog trying for the middle. As Devin Pirog is charging through the field right now. Pirog getting the elbows out, looking to turn on the wick as he'll now run down Nate Brooker. Whoa, Kyle Green! Hard into the inside wall. What in the world happened there? Kyle Green is going to be effectively done and out. And the driver of the number 18 car will come to pit road. What was that? It looked like the car just turned dead left. We'll get a look at that if we can find what just happened to Green. That was a bit of a shocking move that we just saw. Take a look. Oh, he was trying to turn Joseph. Back that up again. I think he was trying to turn Joseph there on the back straightaway. Look at this here. Back that up one more time for me here as, watch this. Joseph gets into the back of Green, pushes him up the track. Green's not happy with that. Drives down the track. Oh boy, that could very well be grounds for disqualification post-race. They did that with Hunter Thrower when he tried and failed to take out Brian Huntley Jr. Daytona in the season opener, so we could very well see Kyle Green knocked out of competition. You know the old rule. You're going to wreck somebody, learn how to do it without wrecking yourself. McGill, Huntley, and Gassione, meanwhile, working 3 wide. McDougall also in the fray. They're all trying to gang up on Abe Brooker. Contact between McDougall and that'll muscle Brian Huntley Jr. up the track. They're able to get themselves sorted as we return our attention back to racing action proper. Green effectively down and out of the fight with all of that, as we'll see what Green's going to have to do with that whole mess, as a lap down and did come down to pit road, got himself fixed up, so we'll hopefully see the end of that saga. Ryan Dingler, meanwhile, trying to close up to the back end of Joseph Joseph. Remember, Joseph still a lap down as well, so he's broken clear. He's taking a lap back now, sits just 1 down. He stays out. If we get another caution flag and he stays there, he could get his lap back. Matt Cherry trying to keep Dingler in front of him as Dingler scrapes the outside wall. Here comes Cherry trying to find the bottom. Birog and Moore looking to lunge it into turns 3 and 4. Badger Racing runs 1 and 2. Matt Cherry tracks up. Almost gets into Devin Pirog as he'll work down the backstretch. Pirog goes around the top, picks off Cherry. Now tries to go and set up Dingler. Give it a push to that Hex Armor Camaro down the front straightaway. Looking to drive it in around the top side into 1 and 2. Pirog on the top. Dingler trying to fend him off on the bottom. It'll be all for naught as Devin Pirog will drive to the point. So the Discord 36 Camry will find himself in the race lead with 33 laps to go. Cherry, Morton, and Spencer Ray just behind, still dicing it out for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Ray working to the bottom as it looks like Dingler's pace starting to drop off. Barry Morton will get around the that Badger Racing number 8. Remember, Pirog and Morton both pitted under the last caution. They both are on fresh rubber as well. Same story for Spencer Ray. So the lead may stop around Matt Cherry, which is where Dingler will now find himself battling with his teammate for 4th. Oh boy, here we go again. Joseph and Kyle Green, I think, just made good door-to-door contact again down the backstretch. They are both now fighting for a chance at the lucky dog spot if something happens to Mark Brannigan Jr. And now this is for position, right? So this is a lot more important now. Kyle Green was on the lead lap, and I hate to say it, he did it to himself. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, I guess, as Kyle Green finds himself down in 23rd. We'll keep one eye on that, and we'll see if that will come to blows at all. How about Jeffrey Brogdon working the inside of Brian Huntley Jr. down to 14th as Brogdon will clear out 4. 30 laps to go. A lot of the pack now starting to break apart a bit more. Josh McDougall has reeled in Connor LaFrance. He's now trying to go around the outside of the Fanta Chevrolet. Meanwhile, Bear Morton setting up Pirog in the battle for the lead. And looks like the Spearcrest Digital Camaro will be able to break clear of that number 36 down in turn 1. Morton set him up. Pirog saw it coming, let him have it. And he'll give up second to Spencer Ray as well. Ames will break clear of Connor LaFrance as just behind. Jeffrey Brogdon is, in fact, Ames coming to pit road this time by, so that we could not make it to the end. Brooker, Gassion, and Brogdon all running line astern. As we march into turns 1 and 2, setting ourselves up for that run back down the Nellis straightaway. Morton, Ray, Purog have all managed to pull clear from this field as you see pretty much everybody starting to split up as we run down that back stretch now. We'll give some love to the guys in the back of the field as well, as you got Aaron Bradford, Justin Wilson, Stephen Purcell, and Josh Small all still tucked up line astern, and they've been fighting it out just as hard as these guys further up the road. They have shown no quarter either in their little battles. Las Vegas is such a phenomenal racetrack for racing. And honestly, out of all the, I know cookie cutter mile and a halves tend to get a lot of flack. I really don't mind them. For the most part, they provide some pretty good racing. I think Texas Motor Speedway, unless you're the TNGGIL Truck Series, it can be a bit of a bore sometimes. But out of all of the mile and a halves, discounting Atlanta, because Atlanta's practically super speedway now, I genuinely like Las Vegas the best. I have never once had a dull race in America's Gambling Capital. It just invites all sorts of action, and we have seen that in full force here tonight. Nathaniel Ames getting a bit loose. Sorry, that's McDougal getting a bit loose as he'll bobble out of 2, give up spots to both LaFrance and Jeffrey Brogdon. Now we could see the Mobile 1 camera get up and around LaFrance as he'll take it to the bottom. Secures 9th down the front straightaway back around to towards turn 1. Spencer Ray attacking for the lead on the back straightaway, and he looks to take that spot away down in the turn 1. So now Spencer Ray is the next driver to lead the pack. Bit of 3 wide action going on down the front stretch as Justin Wilson and Purcell, I think, got a bit crossed up with one another. That allowed for Josh Small to blitz by the both of them. Oh, caution is out. Oh, and a big hit down in the turn 3. Matt Cherry getting into it with Nate Brooker, it looks like. Right, we've had a monumental collision down in turn 3. Cherry's already loose. He got tagged by McFadden. So we'll have to back this up a bit further. Oh, my word! Just got just clothesline Brooker. Oh, man. So Cherry got into the outside wall. He got loose, I think. I mean, watch this hit here. Oh, man. Heavy, heavy shot. Take one more look as we, Cherry, I think Cherry just got loose by himself. Yeah, that's all that happened there. Dingler never touched him. Dingler just avoids. McFadden left with nowhere to go as he slid across the track, and then Brooker. Oh. Cherry never held the brakes. Ride on board with the number 3. Oh, he started slowing down, but started slowing down way too late. That is a tough, tough hit for all these drivers, and we'll get one more look at this as working that back straightaway. It's risky business. And here comes the number 3. Good glory. The wrecks so far this season really have been go big or go home. That's been the the trend throughout everything so far.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Vegas, and I am just now realizing that my microphone may very well have been inverted on my push-to-talk thing. I'm not quite sure how long that was going on. Hopefully not too long before we went to break. Just wanting to kind of update again, because I'm pretty sure when I was talking about the pit strategy, that's when it cut out. Spencer Ray, Bear Morton, Pirog, McGill, and Brogdon all chose not to pit. They've all stayed out on 86 or they last been on laps 86 and 88 respectively. Everybody else has come on down for fresh fuel and tires. That includes Joseph and Kyle Green, who did not stay out. They are both now stuck. Still one lap down to the back of the field. They will be battling for the lucky dog spot. 19 laps will be left on the docket as we're going to be looking to so we're going to be looking to try to get this field back sorted. Less than 20 to go. Hedge your bets. Do we get another caution? I think yes. Got the whole field stacked up again. They would not put it past these guys to junk it up one more time. It's been a season for cautions so far, but boy, the racing that accompanies it has been absolutely phenomenal. We'll see how these last 18 or so pan out as the pace car pulls into pit road. We get set to go back to green flag racing. Green flag is up in the air. We're racing underway once again from Vegas. Overall, a solid start throughout this field. Bit of 3 wide in the mid-pack. Oh, and into the wall goes Bradford. Rebounds back down. Hang on as we try to save it. Cherry just able to wrangle it back under control. Bradford got put into the wall, and it looks like Cherry will be able to escape disaster. Right, so initial restart scares complete. Holden McGill takes it to the inside, or the outside of Spencer Ray, going back for the race lead on lap 118. Tries to set up a run down the back straightaway, looked high. Spencer Ray will duck low to cover the inside line, forcing McGill back around the top. It's not a marathon anymore, it's very much a sprint. You're deep in the pack, you can't afford to be waiting around to make these types of moves. McGill cuts down low, takes it to the inside of Spencer Ray down to the turn number 3. Caution is out. Big crash over in turn numbers 3 and 4. At least 4 cars involved. LaPinta, McFadden, Josh Small, Matt Cherry, possibly Kyle Green as well. Joseph. Both he and Green having to slow up. I knew we weren't done. Has not been Cherry's night as, whoa, wow, LaPinta getting loose. And, oh, wow, Cherry tanked the wall. I'm not sure what Josh Small was doing. It may have been 27 again. Boy, oh, boy. When it rains, it pours. And it is pouring right now for several of these drivers as we'll, there's LaPinta going around as the rest of this field just wadded it up. There's Justin Wilson going by. He's the one that I think slammed into the door of LaPinta as he spun across the track. Oh, Huntley got into LaPinta, it looks like, and that's what kicked all of this off. So it was Josh. I'm not sure where Small thought he was going there, to be frank. Right on board with Josh Small. Oh, he had no idea. Okay, my apologies. He had no clue that was all going on in front of him. That explains a lot more. We'll jump back. This will be working out of now turn number. This will be worked down the backstretch. I want to get a better idea of all of this. Pinto was on the inside of LaFrance. I'm not sure how Huntley gets to the back bumper. Looked like he just had a run. Bit checked up by Pirog, it looked like, and it was on. And I believe that was Flores that ran into the back of Cherry, and Wilson clipped Cherry as well. And then Kyle Green and Joseph Cube just able to fight their way around. Kyle Green, by the way, got the lucky dog, so Green's going to be back onto the lead lap. We'll see if he can stay there this time around. Oh boy, it's been a race. It certainly has been a race, and it's a race that I think is going to go right down to the wire. We'll, why not? Let's see if we can't get in touch with a couple of the drivers here on this latest caution period. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to make sure we're not going 1 to green this time by. Don't really want to be. Don't know if you guys want to be interviewing people when we're trying to get to 1 to green racing here. As lights are still on. All right. Looking throughout the field. Now, why not? Let's get in touch with Stefan Brissell, the driver that's so far made up a solid 13 positions. He now runs up in the 11th position. Stefan, this is Noel Rempel up here on the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
How you doing, Nolab?
It's, I'm doing all right. It's been a race still, I think, to put it mildly. You've been right in the thick of it from start to finish, but still in the green. Not in the top 10, but hey, plus 13. Not bad on the day. How's it been from your perspective out there?
Early on, I smacked the wall, knocked my toe link out, had to pit, get it repaired. I've been able to work it back up pretty good. I'm actually surprised with how fast I am.
Let's kind of walk us through the plan for the last, what, can be about a dozen laps here when we go back green. Obviously, I imagine the tempers are starting to get up there a little bit with how aggressive the racing's been. Do you think we'll be pushing it into overtime here tonight?
99% chance.
And do you reckon you can maybe, if we do get enough caution, send that 57 car up into the top 5?
I'm sure going to give it a shot.
Well, we'll let you get back down to work. Thank you for joining us up here, Stefan. Best of luck when we go back to racing.
Thank you.
Stefan Purcell joining us up here. Currently runs 11th for the driver in Napa as he's going to be restarting on that inside line. Spencer Ray opting for the outside this time on the restart. We'll go green flag racing with 11 laps to go. So McGill going to be down on the bottom, and I don't know. I think we're not done. I'm kind of in league with Purcell here. I don't think we're done wrecking just yet. You can see how aggressive this race has gotten over the last 30, 40 laps or so, and The anticipation's real. We've seen an overtime attempt already, in fact, at Daytona and at Bristol. We have not had a race yet finish under regulation time. We'll see if tonight will be the first race where we manage to get to the end without going into an overtime attempt, as the field is going to work into turn numbers 3 and 4. And the pace car will pull in as we get set to go back to green flag racing action. Green flag up in the air, and Spencer Ray already trying to hightail it away from the rest of the field. Holden McGill tracking to the bottom of Spencer Ray, trying to go for the lead on the backstretch. He started on the inside line when Ray picked the top, and that will send McGill through and into the race lead off of turn number 4. Good drive there from McGill, puts himself back onto the point. His teammate Dingler trying to make a run for the number 2 spot. 10 laps remaining. Morton washing up from the bottom. And he's not going to be the only one, as we've got a hornet's nest on the backstretch. Dingler going for the lead down to the turn numbers 3 and 4, almost doors. His teammate McGill. Wouldn't be the first time Badger Racing has come together with blue on blue, as Dingler will fire it back, and he'll now clear for the race lead out of 4. 3 wide, almost 4 beyond, 4 wide on the front straightaway, working down to turn 1, and somehow Musani backs out from the bottom. Pirog up on the top, Gassione and Bradford still scrapped it out. Bradford gets loose. Well, we got one car almost going around. Spencer Ray is turned, Bradford is turned. We got Bradford spinning around, clears on the front stretch. Spencer Ray also around on the back stretch. And that will put us to a caution period, and that will risk sending us now into overtime. It'll be a risk. I don't know if we'll actually get there, though. I think we'll still get to go back to green flag racing, as we had a duo of spins on the back straightaway. Brannigan was one. I'm looking way down the field. Aaron Bradford's one, Spencer Ray was another. 2 separate incidents, but with 2 cars being spun and stopped, that is enough to force a caution in the L-TAC Cup Series, and Bradford took a heavy shot into that inside wall as well. Spencer Ray took a bit of a collision as well, but not as bad. So we'll get a look with Spencer Ray here on how he got turned around on the backstretch. Just got loose, all by himself out of turn 2. Saw him trying to work that wheel and did a good job to keep it off the racetrack. Unfortunately, could not keep it out of the inside wall. And then behind, Bradford took a heavy shot into that inside wall as well. Bradford, he had gotten loose, and then he got finished off by, Brooker and Musati. Drifted over to Brooker and slammed back down into Anthony Musati. And that was a manually thrown caution as well. Of course, that is one rule that the L-TAC Cup Series does have, is the race admins do have the ability to throw a yellow flag of their own accord if they deem it necessary, and one of the prerequisites is if there are multiple cars that are spun off the racing circuit, and I do believe that would qualify, as he had 2 separate cars stopped on the bottom and one at risk of going back up into traffic to boot. Right, so I believe that caution 8, might be 9. It is 8. I was counting correctly. So 8th caution on the afternoon, and it'll be green flag racing. I don't think we're not going to be getting to a green white checkered yet. We are going to still restart this race, but definitely with less than 5 to go. In fact, it might even be 5 to go perfectly when we get back around to the line. Nobody taking it to pit road this time by. Everybody's going to be looking to keep it sorted up there in this pack as we'll get things sorted. And we'll jump back. We'll be right back with more racing action from Vegas. Four laps will be the distance when we get back to green flag racing. The pace car will be in this time by. And I'm willing to bet again that we are headed this race into overtime. We'll find out in just a few minutes, though, if that's going to be the case. Ryan Dingler will lead us back to the green flag. Dingler, McGill, Morton. 1, 2, and 3. McGill pops in line, and already we have a caution. What for? What brought that caution out as we find ourselves back under the yellow flag, and that will put us to overtime. What happened there? Let's look from the air. We'll watch deeper in the pack. We'll see if something happened on the restart getting up to speed. Oh, right there. Joseph getting turned again. Spinning around. That'll do it. And good save. I'll give him credit for that. I will not give him credit for jumping the restart, though. And it looks like he may have gone a bit early then. Well, maybe just got a better launch, but he went 3 wide up the middle. And then just may have turned in on Grant Peterson there as it's a nice little 360 slide. Just got it under control, kept it rolling. It's hard to tell from that angle who came up and who came down. We'll get a look on board with Grant Peterson. That might be able to tell a story as well. Now let's watch here. We'll slow this down. There's Joseph. See how he's right on the seam. Oh, that's looking like Joseph is coming down, if you ask me. And, well, send the 20 car around. That's a... Ugh. That was something that didn't need to happen. Joseph had just gotten the lucky dog to get back onto the lead lap 2, so I think he was a bit impatient there, trying to get himself sorted. And that's what happens when you have impatience at a track like this, and in a race like this, even. It's not really a track. I'm going to correct myself on that. That could happen literally anywhere. In fact, I've seen it happen at almost every other track under the sun that I've broadcasted at before. So first of 3 green-white checkered attempts. So far, we've only ever had to use 1. We'll see if we'll use more here tonight, as the Molotov 200 to kick the season off had an overtime attempt that ended in a 0.005 of a second photo finish. The second race of the season had a green-white checker that allowed Joseph to retain the race lead to win. And, well, third one here tonight. This would be the last lap. Well, hedge your bets. At this point, I think it's safe to say Joseph is not winning this race. Neither is Gassi. Well, I mean, Gassion's back there. He's in 7th. If something happens with the front grouping here, he could very well find himself in the catbird seat. Maybe started, what, 4th, if I counted that up right on the inside? Yeah, 4th. So, now you can see everybody using that old exploit. I brought attention to that at Bristol, how a lot of drivers were looking to use that little exploit of driving up and down from the apron to kind of heat up their tires and gain a bit of an advantage in doing so. Now, that was actually discussed and addressed by the admin team between the weeks, and what the decision was is it wasn't bad enough to raise a bit of a stink over it. However, they would regulate it. So they have put in a new rule, which is an official rule in the rule book now. And we'll see if this stays in place or this is altered throughout the season. It could very well be altered depending on how things go. The rule is you are allowed to use that apron and that exploit to weave tires. And all of the drivers have, it has been explained to the entire field exactly how to do it, so everybody can benefit from it if they so choose. So it's at the driver's discretion. However, once you go 1 to green, it stops. Full stop. You're not allowed to do it anymore once you're 1 to green, because once you're 1 to green, only the inside lane can take advantage of that exploit, effectively screwing over anybody on the outside line. So it has been regulated. So we'll see how that works. You saw several drivers doing it under this latest caution coming to green. It's an interesting tactic, and it's one that I think is widely known about, but it's not known how to really benefit from it, which is why we only see a lot of the top teams utilizing it. I have a feeling we'll be seeing more and more cars, though, doing the same and following their suit over the course of the race, over the course of the season, I should say. Pace car is off, and we are back to green flag racing. Ryan Dingler leads the way into turn number 1, and already we're crashing. Barry Morton around, Gassion around. LaFrance hard into the wall. Morton goes around, Small's in it, Green's in it. The big one, number 3, into turn 1. Send us into round 2 of overtime. Patience, guys. Come on. Patience. I know it's a sprint, but you're not going to win it in turn 1 with 2 to go. You got to get to the white flag first. I thought that'd be... I didn't think that'd have to be said. Morton just cuts down on Brogdon, it looked like entering turn 1, and Gassion had some friendly fire with Connor LaFrance. Bear Morton tanked the outside wall. Morton got in, Green onto the outside wall. Small drifted up and slammed the outside wall. I mean, Brogdon's there. He is there. Morton needs to leave room, and Gassion went up to try to avoid that mess. And, gosh, that's a hard leg. Saw Mosadi get involved. There's Josh Small piling in. Messy, 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 messy. That's a huge lick for Bear Morton in particular. And Josh Small, I think, just got unsettled on the apron trying to avoid all of this. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Just drifted up right into the side of Morton. I don't know. I mean, I understand it's a green-white checkered finish at the end of what's been a long race, but at the same time, I mean, common sense, right? I mean, you gotta ease up a bit. You're not gonna win by pushing so hard early on. And I know I'm being critical, but you'd think after like 135 laps of just helter-skelter racing with nobody giving anything, they would have learned a bit by now. It's been this way the last 2 races as well. It's been all take, no give, and it's what's made these races pan out the way they have. It has not been the way we were hoping to start this season. But it is a long season, and I think next race we'll be able to slow things down a bit, and we'll be able to get things back sorted, as it'll be the Roval up next for what one of the league owners, Sean Deal, has called the, and I'm quoting here, the Bring Back the Bus Stop 115. Guess who decided not to use the bus stop chicane layout? Sean. He could have used it. He could have brought it back. He chose not to. It's his fault. Blame him. Blame him if you like the bus stop chicane on the old 2018 Roval and you want it back and you don't get it. I'm rambling. I'm rambling, and I may very well go and ramble to somebody else. Let's see if we can talk to one of these drivers further back in the pack. You know what? Let's get a view from what it's been like sitting laps down. Nathaniel Ames has not had the best of runs so far today, but looking to maybe end it on a quieter note at least. Nathaniel, how's it been looking? You've been at the back of the field most of this race here.
Well, okay, first of all, I haven't, Nolan, but it's been
True,
looking okay.
You were at the front for a while,
these guys
and then
have been
you weren't.
aggressive all night long.
You were mentioning aggressive racing, and I don't think quite the type of racing we were hoping to see. But again, walk us through your perspective. It's been a rough past 30, 40 laps or so. What are you hoping out of what could be the last 2 here?
You know, I'm hoping that some people DNF, that I finished a little bit better. I mean, I'm really disappointed with myself. I got caught speeding on pit road earlier, and I was running about 9th when that happened. So I think the best thing I can hope for is that some people DNF and this, if we get another caution. But, you know, I think if that doesn't happen, then the best thing I can hope for tonight is just finish with a clean car and look forward to next week.
He's still going to be battling it out with Grant Peterson in the hopes that we get yet another overtime attempt that he can be put back on the lead lap.
Perhaps I'm a lap down further than him. I'm 2 laps down. He's 1 lap down now. So my chances is probably if he gets involved in the wreck, which he's been good at avoiding tonight. So, I mean, slim chances, but there are chances there. So,
well, we'll wish the best of luck then when we go racing this time by. Good luck out there.
All right, thank you, Nolan.
Nathaniel Ames joins from 21st. He was up in the top 5 at one point. How the mighty have fallen, as he will be restarting this race, as he mentioned, 2 laps down, and just looking to end this race with that car still on the racetrack, as I'm sure everybody else is. Second overtime attempt, this time by, as we will go back to green flag racing. Ryan Dingler again with the lead, as we'll try this again. Dingler, McGill, Gassion, Brogdon. The top 4. Ryan Dingler pulls clear in a 1 and 2. Working down the backstretch. Already going defensive, trying to keep McGill at bay. Just got to make it around through 3 and 4. And this time by, it'll be race official. White flag is in the air. Ryan Dingler still trying to hang on with whatever he's got. Holden McGill trying to back up the corners and see if he can get a run on them in the last 2. Working the backstretch, Spencer Ray slams the wall just behind out of 2. But Ryan Dingler into 3 and 4. Dingler becomes the second different winner we have so far all season long. We wrecked out of 4, and Ryan Dingler takes the race win from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A tremendous impact across the line for Anthony Musatti and more, as it all falls apart for this field off of turn number 4. Take a look at this as it all fell apart. The whole field stacked up, and, well, it was on. Multiple heavy hits up into the wall as it all came crashing down around this field. Watch Joseph deeper in the pack as this was working out of turn 4 down into the front straightaway. Right there, he gets loose. Brogdon and Gassion got tagged around, and Purcell got hooked big time, and they were both sent head on into the outside wall. Ryan Dingler, though, will burn it down with being taking the race win here tonight from America's gambling capital. Dingler going to celebrate with his Badger Racing teammates. With all of that said and done, we'll take a rundown of your official post-race results here tonight from round number 3 in Las Vegas. Ryan Dingler with the win by half a second over Holden McGill. Brian Huntley Jr. picks up his first podium of the year. Mark Brannigan Jr. is back in 4th. Joseph was in 5th. Spencer Ray is in 6th with Austin Gassion in 7th. Devin Pirog is 8th. Conor LaFrance 9th. And Jeffrey Brogdon rounds out the top 10. Justin Wilson finishes back in 11th with Frank Flores in 12th. Aaron Bradford was 13th, Nate Brooker 14th. Kyle Green was in 15th with Steph Purcell, Josh McDougall, Josh Small running it back to 18th. Anthony Musatti and Grant Peterson round out the top 20. Peterson was the first car 1 lap down. Ames was 2 down. Bear more to the first car not to really finish this race. He'll be finishing 6 laps down, along with Mario LaPinta, Matt Cherry, Lauren McFadden, Chris Campbell, Todd Robbins, and Sean Kaiser. So that was the field top to bottom after a fairly wild race that we had here in this one, as we'll get now to talk to everybody at the end of what ended up being a fairly crazy race overall here tonight. And we'll get a look first on here on obviously the race win and how this must feel for Ryan Dingler, able to come home and take up the number 1 spot at the top of the podium here tonight, as Ryan Dingler able to come home and he'll fend off McGill for the race win. Ryan, you become the first different winner we've had on the season. The third different winner we've had so far in the season, but it must feel good being able to fend off your teammate after such a hard-fought race.
Yeah, that was really fun. I mean, I made some mistakes, and I'm probably going to get some penalty points, but, you know, it is what it is. But I when Cherry spun, it was my saving grace because I didn't have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. So when he spun right in front of me, got that caution, I was able to get tires, and that's really the only reason I was able to pass everybody and get around Holden because I was on way newer tires than they were.
Kind of walk us through these last 50 laps or so, because it was looking like it was going to be settling down. Then we, of course, get that dreaded late race caution, and it is just any chill we had goes out the window. What goes through your head when you're just trying to survive at that point in time?
Well, once we got that caution and then we got to the front, I felt pretty good because of the tires. So once I was, I think, third place behind Spencer and Holden, I got behind Holden because Spencer took the top, and I felt pretty good about it because I knew Holden was going to send it. And so I was like, I'm following you, Holden, wherever we go. And then right out of the onto the backstretch, I had a run on him. I was like, all right, I'm taking it. Then he just followed me ever since. And then we basically just did some restart games to kind of help each other out, and I could give him the best possible chance to at least stay behind me. But yeah, a lot of fun.
Looking forward to the Charlotte Roval. Obviously, it's been a couple seasons since we've seen the Roval make an appearance over in the L-TAC Cup Series. Road course races have been unique here in L-TAC because obviously we've only had one or two in, I think, the series history where we haven't had a full course yellow for some instant or another. What do you think we can expect when we swing back up to North Carolina?
Oh, a lot of wrecks. I don't know about cautions, but there's going to be a lot of people wrecking because the Roval over other road courses is very technical, and there's so many areas that the car just unloads and gets really loose, more so than normal road courses. So I don't know. I did some practice the other night, and it felt okay, but yeah, you're going to see a lot of crashing, I'm sure. So we'll probably at least get one full course caution. But I look forward to it. I usually do pretty well at road courses, so I'm hoping for a top 5 at least.
Well, fingers crossed. We'll be seeing you back on Victory Lane when we go racing at the Roval. For now, congratulations on the hard-earned race win tonight at Vegas, and we'll wish you the best of luck next week.
Thank you, sir.
As Ryan Dingler joining us up here in Victory Lane, we'll move on down to the likes of Holden McGill, the driver that comes home to finish in the number 2 spot. And Holden McGill will join us up here now, finishing runner-up to Ryan Dingler. And Holden, first off, congratulations on the second place, but I want to start with the elephant in the room, the stage finish, and more importantly, the 2 corners following it. Walk us through the friendly fire between yourself and Matt Cherry.
That wasn't really a friendly fire. That was just a big wean step, Nolan.
Well, obviously, it's not pleasant to have a race almost fall apart like that. You lost, I believe, only 1 lap as a result of that, but you're able to fight your way back. Did it ever come into your mind about just retiring, or were you always just hoping, potentially knowing that we'd be getting another caution, you'd have another chance to get back up there with to the front?
Yeah, I was pretty sure there'd probably be another yellow, so I just bided some time, waited for that, and then pitted and accidentally took tires when I didn't want to. And for a little while, that looked like it might work out, and then got the late yellow and didn't really have anything to fight for the win, but still had enough for P2, so I was happy with how things shaked out.
It's been a wild start to the season so far. Joseph, of course, a driver you have experience racing with back in Season 2, is looking like he might very well be a threat here in Season 5. What do you think you're going to have to do to see if you can't get back to the front there and eventually start battling once again for the points lead?
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's a good racer. He'll always be a threat if he's still in the lobby. So all I can do is just watch what I'm doing, stay clean, minimize my mistakes, and just it's too early to worry about what anyone else is doing. I just got to worry about what I'm doing.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck then when we go racing 1 week from now. Best of luck in North Carolina at the Roval, and congratulations again on number 2.
Thanks, Nolan. We'll see you Tuesday.
I was Holden McGill joining us up here in the broadcast booth from the second position. Gonna see if we can't track down Brian Huntley Jr. In fact, we will be able to get in touch with the driver from AGMB. It was a driver I don't think I was fully expecting to be finishing this race way up in 3rd. Brian Huntley Jr., most spots gained on the afternoon. You go starting this race way back at 20th. You finish up in 3rd. Kind of walk us through your race as a whole and the journey for bringing that Gravedigger Mustang to the front.
Well, the whole plan was to hang out, get the feel for, everybody out on track. The team did great. Our plan was just to ride and let everything play out in hand, conserve a little bit of tires and then push towards the end, which is what I ended up doing. I was thankful for that one caution beforehand that saved me. I was praying for it to take that last set of tires to hang out in the front there, and just really the whole race just be conservative. Boy, I got lucky tonight. All the wrecks happened like right there in front of me.
Kind of walk us through as a whole. I mean, obviously, you mentioned a lot of the wrecks were happening kind of around you, but you were lucky enough not to get in at least too many of them. Looking forward through the race, what do you think were some of the highlights with that number 69 car to help you get up into that third position?
Pretty much picking them off one by one, attack when needed. Choose the battle wisely, um, and then really just you know easy hitting the marks, getting off, entering the turns, easy in and off. Really, adapting to the new wheels. So really, I was just trying to be as smooth as I can.
And, of course, looking forward now towards the Roval. We missed you last week at Bristol. Can we expect to see you out when we go racing back up in North Carolina, though?
Yes, I'll be there. I did do a lot of officials there, so it'll probably be a little slippery in his '69 Ford Mustang, that's for sure. But I think we'll be all right. The team AGM and AGMB will probably do all right. So our job this season is just have good races, good finishes, and capitalize when needed.
Thank you for joining us up here tonight, Brian. Congratulations on the third place finish. Best of luck next week.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
It's Brian Huntley Jr. joining us up here in the broadcast booth as we'll get set to close things out here tonight. Again, as it so often is, a very wild race, this time in the Wild West over here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Next time we go racing for the L-TAC All-Stream Media Cup Series, we'll be down in North Carolina once again at America's home for motorsports at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, racing at the Roval. It hasn't been seen since Season 3. Should be a fun drive as we get set to go racing back in North Carolina as well. Be sure to tune in on Saturday night, tomorrow night, where we'll see if Aaron Raymond can close out the TNGGIL Truck Series Championship for the Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois. And for now, thank you so much for joining us. My name has once again been Nolan Ramble. You have been watching Green Flag TV and your running of the L-TAC All-Stream Media Cup Series. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We'll see you all next time when we go racing on the road courses.